Hello and welcome to the Yarnings Podcast. I'm Christine and I'll be your host. This is episode 54 and it is Wednesday, April 15th. It is a sunny, cloudy day. Looks pretty nice out there. I even opened up some of the windows. It's 54 degrees right now. But it's supposed to get in the 70s for the next few days. So that will be a fun little treat. So I'd like to welcome new and returning viewers. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate you coming and taking the time to enjoy some time with me and my knitting and what's going on in my life. So with that, let's move into life stories. For this week, there's just been a lot going on. I might say that every week, but it's felt like another busy week. Spent some time with my niece and nephew. They spent a day here on Friday while their mom was doing an event, and so I had them all day long and we did some fun things. It was also Tabletop Day this last weekend, and I will talk a little bit more about that in Sagas of Geekery. And I made it back to yoga this week, so I am trying to gently exercise my back before I get into physical therapy, so that's going okay, I guess. I am looking forward to seeing what the physical therapist has to say when I go see them next week. I'll probably record before that, though. So, everything else I'll talk about as we go along. Let's look at some yarnings and adventures in knitting then. Alright, I have a finished object. These are my 716 sock. 716 knit. The base is 716 sock. They still need the ends woven in. Obviously, they're dangling. Just trying to show off a little better here. I used the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern. You can kind of see the difference when I show you the stockinette versus the texture, but it's very subtle because the yarn has so many color changes. So I did toe up, my normal toe up vanilla sock, but added the Hermione's pattern. I did a slip stitch up the side just to see if that was going to show, and it really didn't. I thought maybe that would show a little more with this yarn and make a distinct edge between where the pattern and the non-pattern was. It's there, it's just not very distinct. And then my fish lips kiss heel, which fits my heel very nicely. And I just did little short socks. So just nice. They will go in my tennis shoes well, and yeah. They are for the ZK knit along for the zombie knit apocalypse because the yarn, the 716 knits yarn is in the marketplace, and the designer Erica Luder of Hermione's and I think Virginia Sucks Therapist are both part of the vendor showcase, the designer showcase. There we go. So these count for my entries into the knit along. And they are nice, serviceable. They'll be good socks. I still had 39 grams of yarn left, so shorty socks, about 61 grams. I didn't weigh it before I started, but they're usually 100-ish, so that's how I always estimate. So yeah, I guess I could weigh the socks. That would actually tell us, since I haven't trimmed the ends. Yeah, 65, so pretty close. So yeah, finished object for the week. Next up, I have a new work in progress. I'm going to finish this row and tell you a little bit about it. Nope, it's the other direction. Well, I'll do it anyhow. So I bought some beautiful purple yarn way back at Oregon Flock and Fiber 2 years ago from Three Fates. And you will recognize the name Three Fates because she's the one doing the giveaway currently in our community on Ravelry. And so I have totally wanted to knit with this, and I had a plan for what I was going to knit with it. And then I went to ZK last year, and Plover Bird, Melissa, had a drifting cardigan, and I loved that design. And so I decided that that would be what this would be instead of the other pattern that I was going to do. And so I'm finally giving myself the opportunity to knit with a beautiful color of purple, because I tend to not buy purple because I think, oh, I've got so much purple. But then I really actually don't have that much purple. It's my favorite color. Well, I waver between pink and purple, but purple is lovely and I love wearing it. And so I'm going to get to the middle here, and then I'll be able to show it better. I still won't make it to the end of the row, but this will be a little better. So I cast on the drifting cardie. See, in the middle of the row. And this has got an interesting construction. If you look at the seam up here, you work one direction, the color gets really funky, work one direction, and then pick up stitches and work down. Let me show you the pattern picture. It's just a nice open front little piece. So this colorway is Three Fates yarn, her Terra sock base, which is merino nylon. Let's see if that'll focus. There we go. In that side, the Merlin colorway. So when I was plotting to get this started for my birthday month, because it was a knit that made me happy, I thought it would be great to do something in honor of Terry Pratchett, who just passed away. And he is one of my favorite authors. He has written some awesome books that my husband and I have listened to his audiobooks. And one of the first ones that I really, really loved, well, we listened to the Tiffany Aching books, which are the YA series, one of the YA series. And then we started on regular Discworld. And the first couple of books didn't catch me, but Equal Rights had a girl wizard, and her name was Escarina. And I liked her a lot, so much that when I got my iPad that year, not long after listening, I named my iPad Escarina. So here's how it all ties in. I wanted to knit something that made me happy to think about Terry Pratchett books, and the colorway of this yarn is Merlin. Ah, a wizard. So this is my girl wizard, Escarina, the drifting cardigan. And that's the long story about how I named my pattern, because sometimes you just gotta come up with funny things like that. So I am zooming along. Now it is all stockinette, all the way down to the seam, to the hem, and when I picked up the stitches for the design feature on that starts going down, I used the second ball. I had been using the first ball to start with. And so I'm going to go back and I will do the sleeves in the first ball. And then when I get about equal amounts of these two, then I'll start alternating at the bottom, because they are slightly different. They're hand-dyed, so that's to be expected. But because I was doing the design feature, it wasn't going to show a drastic change, because there was already that drastic change in the pattern. So I am going to make this, mine will be longer than the pattern, I'm pretty sure, because I still have quite a bit of yarn. I might even make the sleeves a little longer. I did do an interesting thing in the back, which I'm not sure you'll really be able to see, but it kind of flutters. I added a set of increases at this spot, and then I added a set of increases at this spot to give it a little more volume in the back. And I think that's going to be really cool. It won't quite give it a full circular look, but it will give it a little touch of flutteriness. So I think I'll do a little flutteriness on the sleeves as well. Kind of tie that all back in. The front won't have anything. That's just going down straight, but I'm working all in one piece now, and it's been really good conversation knitting. I brought it and played games with it, and I'm pleased with how fast it's working up. I'm hoping to be able to wear it this month. We'll see. I didn't get it started until the end of Wednesday last week. So this is a week's worth of work, but I did have a couple game days where I was a little more intent on working on it. So there's that. And now I guess I will have to stop knitting on it so I can show you other things. I'm just really enjoying it, and I'm knitting it. I started out with size 7s to get gauge instead of what she had, I think, was size 5s. And so now I've gone up a size after picking up the stitches. So working on size 8 needles with fingering yarn feels like such a big difference than all the lace thread I've been working on. I was challenged by Leah in the ZK chat to knit with the bulkiest yarn that I had. This is kind of upgraded to that path. Not quite. So that is Escarina. The next thing that I put a bit of work on this week is my Nuvum. So you can see how much red there is now. I weighed it during the episode last week and had 25 grams. Now I'm down to 15. So I definitely made a little dent. I haven't been carrying it around as much because it is so big. When I've gone on the bus and stuff, it's just a little too bulky to bring around for that. So I've been knitting on it at home, a couple chats, that kind of thing. But once I started the Escarina, I switched most of my attention to that. So the last 4 or 5 days or so, the Nuvum hasn't gotten as much love. And the same goes. This is Nuvum by Martina Baim in Knit Picks Shadow. So the same goes for my Spirited Cardi. I did a lot of work on it after I talked to you guys last, but then put it down for Escarina. So I'm actually measuring at 12 inches now, and I need 14. So I was measuring as I went along for a while on the middle of the week and not seeing any change, and now it's actually starting to see a change. So that is coming along super nice. I'm really excited about wearing this, but it's not going to be done instantly. So yes, Escarina is more of a priority than these two right now. I know they're going to be around, and I'm going to keep knitting on them, but they might just pause for a little bit. So the next thing on my needles, since I bound off my socks, is going to be this pretty thing. This is Thoroughly Thwacked, her MCN base. Let's see. Superwash Cashmerino nylon in the Tutti Frutti colorway. It's a light fingering, but I'm still going to try and do it on size 1s. And I got this on the yard crawl this year. And these colors are happy, and I needed some bright, sunshiny socks to cast on for my birthday. So these, they won't be done for my birthday, but I want to be working on socks during all of the rest of the month and adventures that I might do that are more celebratory than normal. So that will be the next thing cast on, possibly before I go on my next bus ride tomorrow. And spinning, I brought it downstairs with me, but I don't think I actually spun on it this week. I did not spend any time at the library, so it didn't get, I don't think it got taken out, so yeah. So it'll keep coming. All right. So for knitting community, we have 2 knit-alongs going on right now. One is for the Three Fates yarn, the beautiful sparkly pink. So if you haven't yet, go and answer the prompt in the thread about what color you would be if you were a color. And you might be the lucky winner of this beautifulness. And it sparkles. I may have to get some for me. So that is one giveaway. The second thing going on right now is our conversation cal, the convo cal, which is what I originally was working on my Nuvum for. My stockinette socks, my new stripy socks are going to be great, convo cal, and then my Escarina, because it's just stockinette for the most part right now, until I get to the bottom. So those are all great things that I can knit on while I'm doing other things. I'm going to be doing a couple of drives with my husband for some stuff, and so yeah, there's some fun stuff going on that will be great opportunity for me to do some convo cal knitting. All right, so those are our two things going on right now in the forums. If you haven't, there is also an introduce yourself thread, and I would love to get to know you. All right, I think that's everything for knitting community. I'm trying to catch up on podcasts. I've gotten quite behind on a lot of them that I like to listen to, so I'm working on that. And I hope that you are finding podcasts that really make your heart sing when you turn them on. All right, let's move into Sagas of Geekery while I fix my shawl. All right, so now playing is kind of huge this week. I don't know if I actually want to read all these because it's such a long list. So I had the kids on Friday, so we played a couple games with them. Tabletop Day was Saturday, so we played a bunch of games at home. And then on Sunday, it was regular game day that they have every other week at Guardian, and I went with Eric and played there. And then there was a couple days in between there that we also played. I guess it has been a little longer than a week since the last podcast, but still, that was really a lot when I went to go and enter them in. So let's see. With the kids, Leah taught us how to play 10,000, which is a dice game that the internet says is very similar to Farkle, which I hadn't played. And they played Patchwork. We played Legendary, and then once their dad came, we all played Alhambra, which is a fun game to pull out when people come over. If you haven't played that, that's kind of a classic. It's really a nice one that is easy to teach, and you are tile building. You're placing tiles to make your palace, and then they score based on who has the most per color. So there's six different colors of tiles that you're using. So that one's an old one, but it's good. So then on Tabletop Day, I got an awesome birthday present in the mail from one of my dear friends, and she sent me Roll for the Galaxy, and it was so much fun. I love the unboxing process where you're opening a new game and punching out all the things and getting it all set up. So we played that for Tabletop Day. That was really fun to get to have a new game in our house. It has like 120 little miniature dice. Maybe I'll bring it and show it to you guys next time, because that's really a fun. It's based in the same theme as Race for the Galaxy, which is a card game that I love. I'm going to pick up my knitting because I'm gesturing wildly here. Maybe that will calm me down. It's in the same arena, the same world as Race for the Galaxy, but it's a dice rolling game. And even though it's a dice rolling game, means it has a little more luck than I normally go for, but it's done in a way that you don't shut yourself in a corner too hard if you don't roll well. So I am loving that. I'm adding that as my last slot for the 10 by 10 Fiber and Dice challenge and the Board Game Geek challenge. So I am enjoying that a lot, and I'm looking forward to playing it again. I had to pause for a second because my computer decided to start thinking really hard, which turned on the fan again. Okay, so after Roll for the Galaxy, we played a game called New Haven. I wouldn't recommend it. It was the one that Eric won at Game Storm. Then we played Manhattan Project, which is always fun. It's a worker placement game. And then, of course, we played Legendary here and there throughout all of these events. And then, let's see, the other one that we played another night was Trajan, which is one of my favorites. And then at Guardian, we played some new games and some old games. Artificium, we played twice because I enjoyed the way that it played, and so I thought I'd try it again so it could count as a Fiber and Dice 2x2 challenge. We played Lords of Waterdeep and Garden Dice, which is one that we had seen but hadn't played. And Paradise Fallen was a little Hawaii card game. It was easy to get trapped where there wasn't anything you could do. And then Seven Wonders. We ended out the day with a game of Seven Wonders. And Lords of Waterdeep and Seven Wonders are ones that we will pick up when we're at the stores that have them, just for a little fun, something we know. So we played a lot of games. Also, under Sagas of Geekery, for now I'm still watching Stargate SG-1. I'm still on season 3. And then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where we watched the new one, and then I don't know if we made it through any of the old ones last week. And Castle last night. So there's been plenty of things to be geeky about. And that's always fun. I like that. So, Book of Cooking. When we ended up with leftovers from Easter, and so then we shifted our meal plan around, and I made roasted cauliflower and threw in some Trader Joe's vegetarian meatballs and frozen corn at the end while it was roasting, and that makes a really nice, easy one-pan meal. When the kids were over, I made mac and cheese for them and their dad, and we made a Lego cake. We made a cake shaped like a Lego man. It's a pan that Eric and I got when we went to Legoland. Oh, that was so long ago. I don't even know what year that was. It's been at least 4 or 5 years ago. And so when we visited, we found a cake pan shaped like a minifig, and I'd never used it. So I thought this was a great opportunity to get to share some baking time with Leah, because she enjoys baking a lot, and little Leonard got to play with Legos while we did it, and that he enjoys that a lot. And then we got to eat some cake and cupcakes, so it was fun. Last night I made veggie cheese soup, which I love making, and I made way more than I should have for 2 people to eat last night, so we have plenty of leftovers. It turned out good. Okay, fanciful chatter. What does this say? Oh, I got a haircut. So it's all short in the back. And I re-pinked, and there's even some blue-green in there. The light's making it a little more blue than it actually is, and some purple down here, and I like it a lot. So that's what I did on Thursday afternoon this week, was going and getting a haircut. And I put on lipstick this morning and realized, where did my lipstick go? I think I've shown you guys this, but I love my Appleberry is a perfect color for me. This is Mary Kay. And so then I had to put on this shawl. This is my Citron, and I've shown you guys this, but I don't know if I've actually worn it. And it is in a colorway called lip gloss pink or lipstick pink. It was an old Knit Pink shimmer. And it goes nice with my lips and my hair, so I went with that for today. I didn't put on anything super fancy, but I put the shawl on top of my not super fancy outfit. I probably will have to put on actual jeans to leave the house this afternoon instead of yoga pants. And probably an actual sweater. It's warm out there, but not sleeveless warm. It is warm in here under the lights. I have one right here and back there. And I bought a little silent fan that's going to go right below here so that while I'm standing here podcasting, I'm not getting so warm. It does get a little warm. But that's what happens when you have five lights over here. There's one over there. There's two over there. I want it to be bright and well lit for you guys, and I enjoy having it well lit, so that's what matters, right? Okay, then that brings us to the happiness continues. I am happy this week for having plans. Sometimes it's more plans than my body can handle, but it's really nice to have a plan and to be able to look at a calendar and have a general idea of what I'm doing. Some weeks that's easier than others. I found a new app for my iPad. I'll just show you the icon because it's got all sorts of stuff in it. So it's called Fanciful. It's that little one right there. And it is a calendar app that works with iCloud calendars. So it takes your calendar and just kind of adds some enhancements in how you view and add events. And sometimes just having something new kickstarts me into planning better and managing my time better. When I have to rest a lot, it's hard to have the time to manage, if that makes any sense. So yesterday I came home from yoga and took a 2.5-hour nap. So I obviously didn't get anything done during those 2.5 hours, and so the things on my calendar, it didn't help that it was on the calendar. But other days, it helps to have a target to focus on. If I know this day is for this and these time slots are for this, I have a little bit less anxiety about, oh, it's time to go. It's time to be ready right now. So starting the day with a plan, that's what's giving me happiness right now. And my birthday month. And celebrating myself and giving myself permission to celebrate myself. I'm working hard on that. It's another hard concept, but I'm working on it. So that is what's going on in my life. I hope that you guys are having some wonderful happiness bubbling up in your life as well. So let's close out. You can follow me around on the internet. I am Christine with a K on Ravelry. You can watch my pictures as KDLB, just the letters, on Instagram. The Yarnings podcast group in Ravelry is where you can participate in the conversations and enter the contests. And you can find the show notes and links to everything that I talk about at yarningspodcast.com, all squished together. All right, I will see you guys again next week. Thanks for watching. Till next time, that's the story. Bye.